In this role, Guy promotes aviation safety by disseminating safety information to the aviation community on risk management, system safety, and new technology concepts. He is the FAASTeam National Outreach Manager and manages the website FAAStafety.gov for AFS-850. Headquarters staff for the FAASTeam. He is an adjunct instructor at the Transportation Safety Institute in Oklahoma City in the Experimental Aircraft Accident Investigation course. He was formerly a member of the FAA Safety Management Systems Standardization and Assistance Team. But Guy's passion is the FAAStafety.gov website. He views the website as a central tool to facilitate the FAA safety team outreach. Let's welcome Guy Miner. Thank you. Thank you, Guy. Very much.
Well, good afternoon. My title is the FAASTeam National Outreach Manager, and what that means is that I manage the FAAStafety.gov website. And so what I thought I would do this afternoon is talk to you about some frequently asked questions. I think that we spend a lot of time selling the website, but maybe not a whole lot of time talking about how to make it a lot easier to use. The website is really very amazing. Just recently I read a book on website usability, and what I discovered was that everything about the website complies with that kind of information. So it's a very complex website for sure, but it's complex because it manages some regulatory programs, and it needs to be fairly complex. I think what would really help it be a little easier to use, even though it's complex, is for me to cover some of these issues that we have with the website. One of the things that I was kind of hoping for this afternoon was a little bit of feedback. I have a picture of vegetables up there because I watched the associate administrator's presentation, and there were a few cabbages that landed on the stage. And what I wanted to let you know is that I really appreciate that kind of thing. So toss them my way. Or actually, you could probably toss them to Rock Castle. He'd be happy to catch them too. So one of the things that I'd kind of like to do is get a little bit of feedback for the website. We're going to write a requirements document here in the next few months, and it would be nice to hear from people who use the website, super users of the website, as well as people who are fairly new to the website. So if you have a question, just wave your hand and let me know. So what's new with the website? Well, Brian Neville retired. You guys remember Brian Neville? Yeah, he's pretty much a genius, I think. He did an awesome job with his website. And the issue is that, well, I'm not so much of a genius. I'm just a regular person, which is good because I think most people are pretty regular. And so I have that same point of view perhaps as you do with the website. So Brian and Jim Piles designed the website. And so there are some things about it that I would have to say, well, you know, that's the way it is. I don't know why they designed it that way. So those two guys have both retired. They're both missionaries. Jim Piles is in the Philippines, and Brian Neville is in Fort Worth, Texas. Another thing that's new is that we got some new gear. At the end of the year, we got about $40,000 worth of servers. The website consists of 6 servers. Each one has a different operating system, and one of them is a database server. So it has a database operating system. So we got new operating systems in new gear. The reason that that's important to you guys is that the website now is running a lot faster. It's much more efficient, and you should appreciate that, the operating of it a lot better now. We also physically moved it from Salt Lake City, which is where Brian Neville used to live, to Oklahoma City, which is where our developer is. So if somebody needs to go down and pull the plug and plug it back in, or kick it, or whatever, to get the website back up and running, he doesn't have to fly to Salt Lake City to get that done. So it's about 5 minutes from his office, and so that should help us with some service as well. There is a further move on the horizon. Here, sometime within the next 8 months, we should be moving into the data center at Mike Monroney. So the reason that that's good for us is that it will put us behind the FAA's firewall, and we'll have the resources of the FAA's technical team, website usability people, and stuff like that. So it's a good move for the website. And I mentioned this requirements document. What a requirements document is something that describes what the website does. It's something that you do prior to designing a new website. And so that kind of telegraphs our intentions. We want to write this requirements document so that we can, coalesce the website, distill it a little bit, and make it a little more user-friendly. So that's kind of where we're headed with that. So, and the other thing is that we got some money for 508 compliance. 508 compliance is an Americans with Disabilities Act rule. It basically says that blind people should be able to hear the website, deaf people should be able to see the website, and so the reason that's good for us is that it makes an updated website one that's easier to use for everybody. And so we're going to spend a good part of the year, maybe even 2 years, working on that. So the first thing that I want to do is explain to you how you contact help. Whenever there's an issue with the website, you can send an email to me right away, almost instantly. So if you look at the home page, you'll see that, well, actually any page has that navy blue stripe at the top. Those are tabs that help you navigate through the website. If you mouse over the one called Resources, you'll see there's a drop-down menu, and down towards the bottom is Support. If you select Support, you'll be able to send me an email. There's a drop-down menu of ways that you can ask questions. What that's about is to kind of prompt you to enter the kind of information that I need in order to answer your question. But there's always the bottom one, Other. You can just fill that thing out. If you fill out Complaint or Compliment, there's no place to put an email in there. I think Brian wanted to talk to everybody with the complaint. You might get faster service if you put your email in that. We respond to all of these things. In fact, I don't turn off my computer at night until there's 0 support in the mailbox. I live on the West Coast, so even though 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is daylight time now, is just kind of a generalization, I work from 7:30 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon near San Francisco. So that's about 10:30 to 7:30 East Coast time. So if you enter a support to change your email address, you'll be prompted to put your old email address in it. And people who change their email addresses kind of depart the fix, right? It's like you had an email address and then that box closed or something, and then you just move on. Do you remember your old email address? A lot of people don't. So the reason we ask for that is that your account ID is that address, the old one. So you may be wanting to change your email address, but you have to give us your old one so that we can find you and go ahead and change your email address. So the previous one's important. I get all kinds of email addresses in this request. Like, I don't remember my email address. It was blah, 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 .yahoo.com, stuff like that. Well, it's important for me to see that address so that I can find you. Wrong activity listed in my wings page. So the deal is that when you pull up this page, it's auto-filled. The system will actually suggest activities. And in some cases, people believe that they are required to do those activities. This is my page. What do you think of my activities? Do I look like a Learjet pilot? I'm not a Learjet pilot. So I don't have to become a Learjet pilot just because the website suggested that. You can go ahead. Oh. Okay, you can go ahead and see to the right of where it says Learjet pilot. There's a column called More, and there's a search link there. You can select the search link, and at that point, you can search a new list. I think that slide is coming up here pretty quick. So I'm going to switch for a minute to flight instructors. One of the comments that I heard today was that a person couldn't find a flight instructor who was willing to validate credit. And I wanted to point out how really easy that is. For one thing, the flight instructor that took the ride is not the flight instructor that particularly has to validate it. Any flight instructor can validate it. They don't even have to be registered on the site or signed in on the site. They can just go to the instructor portal, which is this thing, click here to give immediate wings flight credit, and at that point they can give you credit. So no matter what instructor you work with, you can actually take them to this portal and show them how to validate your credit. So if you click there, okay, if you click there,
is that the right screen for you?
What's that?
Is that the correct screen for you?
Yeah, it just said that the driver had stopped responding.
Okay.
So this will come up. Actually, that one will come up, and the flight instructor will put in your email address. The really important thing about that email address is that needs to be the one that's registered on FAASTeam.gov. I'm not a very techie person when I'm off duty. I don't have many email addresses, but the other day I counted them up because I was thinking about why it is that people have such trouble with their email address on FAASTeam.gov. And I realized that I have 6 email addresses, because I bought a smartphone, it wants to have a Gmail address for me. It just, they just add up. So I know that everybody has a lot of email addresses now. And in order to use the website, the email address is your account ID. And so it's pretty important to remember which one it was that you registered on FAASTeam.gov. So the flight instructor puts the airman email address in and hits search, and it will pull you up, and he can verify that that really is you. At that point, he clicks the next button, and he has a place where he can search for activities, various activities. He can either type in the activity number if he knows it, or if he's not someone who's familiar with the website, he can use the lower part of that search box and select aircraft category and class, and then search by credit level also. So it looks kind of like that, probably a little bit hard to see. But see, I've selected airplane single engine land. So you hit search after that, and it pulls up a list. I kind of truncated the list, but that's a very long list of activities. And all he has to do is look down through the activities and pick the one that you did it during that particular flight. Hit the select button, and then at that point, this page pops up. He puts in the date. He answers the question. I personally conducted this training, yes or no? So this is where a flight instructor who didn't take the flight can actually validate your credit. So if he selects no, then down at the bottom, there's that I certify statement. He's either certifying that he took the flight or that he looked at a record of the flight. So still, he does not have to be the one who gave you the flight. So I think that probably what I would say is that if you're having trouble validating credit, go to your flight instructor's office, plank on his desk, cry until he just gets tired of you, gives you a validation for your credit. It works. Oh, and then once he gives you validation, he'll get a confirmation that he validated the credit. So I'm back to wrong activity listed on my wings. If you're not a Learjet pilot, you can select that search link over there. When you select the search link, it will pull up a list of activities that fit in that row. See, the row is knowledge topic 1. So if you hit search on the knowledge topic 1 row, you'll notice that knowledge topic 2, knowledge topic 3 are not listed in the search list. And so sometimes people will ask me the question, well, hey, I can't find this particular activity. Well, how are you searching for it? Well, they use that link. They're looking for one that won't fit in that row. And the website is just too smart for that. So it won't be listed at all. So there's the select button, the green word select. And when you select it, it will load that in. So that's where it used to say Learjet 60. Now it says do the right thing, decision making for pilots, which makes a lot more sense to me, for me. People have asked, how do I move credit? So for instance, they'll have credit in queue and they want to use it in a particular place. How do you get that done? Well, you can't move it. There's no tool for that. The website does it automatically. So the deal with websites is that they're not very smart. You know, computers have a little bit of a hard time knowing things like a Learjet 60 course is a bad course to pick for me. But they count really well. And so you can really have faith that the system will put your credit in the right place. Now, the way it does that is it will take the next chronological credit that's in your unapplied queue, and it will put it in where it's needed. The thing about human beings is human beings will look at the whole list and they'll go, well, that'll fit, and that'll fit, and that'll fit. Well, sometimes human beings aren't very chronological. Computers really are. And so if there's a misunderstanding of that, it usually has to do with how the website chooses to put credit where it belongs. So one of the questions that I have is, where is my credit? I took a seminar and I can't find a credit. Where do I look? You know, or can you fix it? Can you give me credit? So I'll go on the website and I'll find that they already have the credit. They just don't see it in this list. Well, this is not a comprehensive list. It's a list only of credit that is applied to that current phase. So there are other places to look for the credit. The first place is down at the bottom of the page is this Wings Credit History Timeline. If you mouse over the little numbers with the squares down at the bottom, you'll see that your credit will be listed. So that's one place to look for it. Then the other place is the Wings Logbook. If you go there, you'll see credit in two different places. One is used credit, and one is unapplied credit waiting to be used. So the little green squares with the numbers, that means phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what it means on this page. If you select the 5, it will pull up something that looks like your My Wings page, but that is a phase completed, so that you know that you used that credit. So if you went to a seminar or something, you remember that you went to the seminar, but you can't find the credit. Sometimes it's because the credit's already been used, and so that's where you would look to see that if it's already used. This is the place to go for the basic level unapplied credits. These are credits that are waiting in queue for future phase or for training that's timed out in your current phase. And that's what it looks like when you select that button. So see Knowledge Topic 3, it has 2 seminars. Those are sitting there waiting to be used. So the fourth place to look for your credit is under activities. So if you mouse over the activities, courses, seminars, and webinars, and you select activities, it will take you to this page, which is a list of all of your credits, whether they've been used or not, and whether they're timed out or not. It's every credit that the system has for you is in that list. So if you have the question, did I get credit for this particular thing? You can go to activities, seminars, webinars, and in your activity list, check to see if you got credit for it. Now, the thing with the credit for seminars and the like is that it takes a human being to enter that credit. And so sometimes human beings get busy. You know, it takes a while for them to go ahead and put the credit in. So you can't expect it to be instant. How many of you are representatives? Oh, a bunch. So did you have trouble finding the representative training? I'll bet you did. Yeah. So where is it? Well, if you mouse over activities, courses, seminars, and webinars, select courses, it pulls this up, and in the catalog of available courses, which is that blue square, towards the bottom, you'll see show courses without credit. So representative training is the course without credit. You select that, and there it is. But the thing about the course catalog is that courses can be taken 90 days after they're completed for credit again. So what happens to the credit in the representative training when you take it? Well, you take the course, it removes it from the catalog of available credit, it moves it down into courses completed, that green box at the bottom, gives you a certificate for it and stuff, and it holds it there for 90 days. So if you're looking for any particular course, you won't find it in the list. That really weirds some people out. So for 90 days, it stays in that courses completed, and then after 90 days, it pops back up into courses available. A little complex. I mean, I realize sometimes you have to look around for the training, but it will either be in courses in progress, available courses, or completed courses. And it just depends, you know, on your progress in the course, where you'll find it. Yellow bar. Have you guys noticed that in advanced? Yeah, I got a hand. Got an amen brother there.
I was gonna ask you about that later.
Yeah. Well, what it is an artifact from a previous fermentation of the website. So I want to point this out to you. See the column that says topic. There's knowledge topic 1, knowledge topic 2, and oh look, knowledge topic 2. So for advanced and master levels, there are no knowledge topic 3s or flight 3s for that matter. And the reason for that is that a long time ago, advanced and master only had 2 rows. They had knowledge topic 1, knowledge topic 2, but all the knowledge topic 2s were 2 credits. So they only needed 2 rows. So now it presents just the way basic does. 3 knowledge, 3 flight. Well, I'll show you here in a minute what happens when you complete them all. Now, this happens to be someone who contacted me last week saying, I've got 2 yellow bars. Well, there are 2 reasons that they have yellow bars. One is that the bottom row is not completed. The other is that those are 2 half-credit courses. So if you take a half-credit course, you're going to see that bar halfway across. If you're working on advanced or master's phase, you will see the yellow bar until the bottom row is completed. So when the bottom row is completed, it looks like that. That's the deal. Is that clear enough? Yeah. Some of the answers to the questions of problems with the website is you just follow through. I mean, you just have to have faith that it's going to work, and it will work. Sometimes there are only 2 rows. See the flight activities? It's just 2 rows. That one has a 1 credit and a 2 credit row, and that's why it's got 2 rows. But sometimes it's just 2 1 credits. So what do? Well, you just take an advanced wings flight topic 2, and the website, as soon as you're validated for that credit, the website will put it in the right place. So it'll give you an extra row for that. There's no tool for adding rows. I can't do it either. Xing out of the course. So you guys know what a monkey trap is? Where they trap monkeys by putting a banana in a tree trunk that's got a small hole. The monkey can stick his hand in the hole, he grabs the banana, and then he's trapped because he won't let go of the banana, right? So that's what this is. This is a monkey trap. This particular course is the Washington, D.C. SFAA course. And the way it works is when you enroll in the course, you'll see this page. You click intro, and actually when you initially enroll in the course, all the navigation buttons, which by the way are these buttons along here, all of those buttons will be blue because they're incomplete. So you click on the intro and it turns yellow. It means that that's the current page. You read the stuff on the page. Then you click 1 and you'll see something that looks like that. See the circle in the middle of the page with a triangle on it, the play button? So you hit play and this pops up. It's what we call an articulated PowerPoint. It's a PowerPoint that is narrated by someone, in this case, Susan Parsons. And she'll explain Washington, D.C. Special Flight Rules area to you. In the case of this particular course, she will get right to the last word and it cuts off. So it sounds a little funny. And at that point, people are paralyzed. What they're supposed to do is X out of that. So see the yellow or the red circle up at the top here, this guy? You just close the window. That's what you do. But people won't do that because it's like the monkey holding on to the banana, right? They will not let go. They have to just let go and close that window. Once they close the window, they're presented again with our web page and the navigation buttons. They're able to click through chapter 2 and then the review, and then the exam will activate. They take the exam and then they get credit for the course. So I can't tell you how many emails I've written explaining that to people, probably 2 or 3 a week. They can't get to a place where they can just X out of that training. Password resets are pretty problematic, and part of it is that when the website was designed, it didn't have online password reset. You had to contact support in order to get a password reset. So in the last few years, they set up for online password reset, and that includes security questions, like any website would do. Well, if you haven't set up your security questions because you've been a user for a long time, when it comes time to change your password, it's really hard to do that. So if you were to enter, forget your password or something like that, and try to enter it, you would be presented with this page. And it gives you 3 options. It says, don't have an account, register an account, trouble logging in, click here, forgot the password, click here. So if you don't have an account, it will take you to the registration application. If you just need some help, it will take you to this login help that will tell you to activate cookies and stuff like that on your computer. Just give you a little bit of good information. And then if you forgot your password, it will take you to the password recovery page. Recover your password online is the preferred way to do that. It works great, and you'll have your password in seconds. When you select that link, you're going to see that you need to answer security questions. If those are not set up, then you can't do that. At that point, you contact support, which is resources support. Remember that? If you are able to answer your security question, then it will allow you to go in and change your password like that. Email your password. A couple things about emailing your password. It works pretty much instantly if you remember your old password, because this is the next page, and I wrote it in big letters to emphasize it. The new password has been sent to your registered FAASafety.gov email address. So if that email address is shut down or you don't remember it, then your password goes to nowhere, goes into the ether, and doesn't help you very much. So at that point, resources, support, send me an email and I'll recover your password for you. Sometimes people just ask the question, what's up with wings? What's the deal? And for those of you who are reps, I'm sure that you get that question too. Well, you can imagine that I don't have an email for people to explain the whole program because it's substantial. And so what I do is I just send them to the Wings portal on the homepage. And the Wings portal, there's a user guide and AC. The AC explains the Wings program, and the user guide explains how the website administers the Wings program. Same question with AMT Awards. I sent them to the AMT Awards program portal. And there are 2 tutorials for that Brian wrote. Very nice little tutorials that explains the AMT Awards program. So good things to know. Any wings phase is current for 1 year. The program is a pilot proficiency program, and so we want pilots to continue to train, and that's why the wings phase expires in a year. A wings phase completion suffices for a flight review. Flight reviews are current for 2 years. So you can complete a basic phase, get a flight review for it. That lasts 2 years. Your basic phase expires, so you have an out of currency basic phase, but your flight review still stands. So it causes some people a little bit of concern. Credit is good for 1 year. So the deal with credit is whether the credit is applied or is in a queue of unapplied credit waiting, it's only going to be good for 1 year. And the website just takes those credits in the unapplied queue and applies them chronologically. So you'll get an email that says that your credit is expiring. All it means is that the next credit in the list is coming up on 1 year old. So what that prompts a lot of people to do is try to fit their credit into their, to apply it somewhere. And you can't do that. The system has to do it automatically. The system will record credit for 2 years. It used to record credit forever. You could put anything you wanted to in there. The problem with that is that the database just got really huge, and so we had to cut it off at some point. So we cut it off at 2 years. So something that's over a year old, you can enter it, you can validate it. You just can't use it for wings. It would just be in the list. If you wanted a mark on the bark for that training, we'll let you do that for 2 years. Wings pins are 1 per level and not 1 per phase. So you're looking at the wings pins right there. That's all of the wing pins that we have. They're basic, advanced, and masters. And so there are folks that believe that we should give a wings pin for every single phase. And some people have crazy number of phases, like 250 phases. Rock Castle's sitting in the back. Rock has got at least 250 phases on his wings program. So that's a lot of pins, but the deal is that they're just for levels. Another question that I encounter is, please close my account so I can register a new one. You really don't want to do that. If you're having trouble logging into your account, you need to go resources, support, give me an email, and I'll reset your account. The reason that you don't want to do that is that the website won't let you have a duplicate account. And so what will happen is, Richard Smith will change his name to Dick Smith and put in a new email address. And then he'll do things like he'll forget when he's at the next seminar what email address he just changed his account to, and he'll put the old email address in. And at that point, his old account will get credited for the seminar. It really causes a lot of trouble. So if you have a duplicate account, you need to contact me and have me merge your accounts, because you'll be very unhappy if you don't do that. I'm not getting email. Well, the first thing that you need to do is remember the email address that was registered on FAASafety.gov, because that email address is getting the mail for the most part. Our website works the way that spam websites work. It sends out Well, last year it sent out 38 million emails to people. So you can imagine that somebody who sends, Nigerian fraudulent emails, well, they do the same thing with their website. And so ISPs are wise to that. And so when websites operate in a particular way, they get put on blacklists, which means that the ISP bounces every single email address that we send them. So our website looks that way to ISPs, and from time to time we get on blacklists. So to prevent that, our system will block any email if the email bounces twice. It's kind of fragile that way. So if for some reason, we're not on your preferred email receiving list, all it takes is 2 bounces and it shuts, it completely blocks your email. So that's one thing that could happen. Now, to prevent that, you can do a couple things. One is if you log in to the website, if you log into FAASTeam.gov, just logging in will unblock your email address for 90 days. And then if we continue sending emails to you and you receive the emails and they don't bounce, then it won't be blocked again. But it just holds the window open for 90 days for you. The other thing that you can do is somehow whitelist FAASTeam.gov emails. And how that's done is different for all the different ISPs. So it could be just enter the email address in your address book. We'll do it. Sometimes you actually have to somehow notify your ISP that you want emails from FAASTeam.gov. Comcast and AOL have 60% of their email addresses on our website blocked. And it's because Comcast and AOL have a very robust firewall, and they view our emails as spam and they bounce them. So, these Comcast and AOL accounts on our website have 2 bounces, and we don't send an emails to them anymore. Slow. Sometimes the website's really slow. I was upstairs this morning and the website was super slow. So what happens when the website's slow? Well, I mentioned earlier we have 6 servers. One of them is a database server. One of them is the web page server. So the web page server will serve a web page, but the data for the web page doesn't arrive at the same time. And so the data on the displays on the web page has to do with orientation of graphics and stuff on the web page. And you'll end up with a web page that's all down the edge. It's like one word wide and really long. Well, that has to do with your connection speed. So, and quite frankly, it's mainly the FPMs that have this problem in the office. Our FAA connection is about 2.5 MIPS. And to contrast that with at home, those of us who have cable modems can have up to about 90 MIPS. So 2.5 is really slow. Last night I was in the hotel over their Wi-Fi. See the speed test from Xfinity is 4.66 MIPS. So, it's pretty slow there too. But if you are interested, if you have like real weird things happening to the website and you wonder what's going on, all you have to do is Google speed test and the one on the right will come up. And actually, see, start now. Don't push that because they'll try to sell you stuff. But down here in the middle will be a button that will say start test. If you hit that test, then it will tell you what your speed connection is. And it'll give you a little bit of insight into why our website has trouble with you and why other websites is also do. There's another reason that our website is slow, and that is that it's pretty old. When you look at that page, can you visualize a table? Does that look like a table to you? All these squares? Well, our website is set up on tables, and that's not the standard now. It was the standard when it was designed, but nowadays people set up web pages on frames, and they work quicker. So that's one reason our website it runs slow, is that it's set up on tables. Now that 508 compliance piece that I mentioned earlier, that's going to be shifting from tables to frames, and so it's going to make the thing work a lot better for you. Now, another reason it's slow is that most websites have an entire team running the website, and they'll have one guy who's dedicated to efficiency. So if you're Amazon or somebody like that, you have an entire department working your website. We have me, we have one IT person, we have a project manager who just handles money, and I have a couple of guys that part-time help with support. But mainly the website is run by 3 people. So we don't have anybody who can sit down and analyze the website and try to make it work a little bit faster. So this is a little bit like the Winchester Mystery House of websites. It was built one little piece at a time. And so we have a couple stairways that go to nowhere in the website. Things like every single time you pull up a SPANS, it makes a PDF copy of a postcard. So when was the last time you reps and you FPMs, when was the last time you sent out a postcard? Probably never. See, so we don't really need that functionality anymore. So at some point we're going to get rid of that. And the postcard, yeah, a little bit problematic. And and it doesn't really matter because you don't send them, but it does take time to render that. And so we'll be getting rid of that, and it'll just take less time to pull it up. So that has to do with that requirements document business that I talked about. We're going to think through and write down exactly what we want the website to do. We're going to get rid of those things that we don't need it to do anymore, and it'll make it work a lot quicker. I get lectured every once in a while. How many of you are iPad users? iPad users believe that everybody should change their stuff so they can see it on the iPad. And so I'll get these emails. Your website's really lame. It won't render on my iPad. Well, there's a lot of stuff that won't render on iPads because they don't play Flash videos. Now, I'm getting less of these complaints because there are apps that you can download that will run Flash. And this is some of them. Last night I was in the hotel room and I just Googled iPad won't play Flash video, and it gave me like these 4. I'm sure that there are many others. I don't want to be advertising for apps, but the deal is that your iPad will play Flash video, just you have to have the right app for it. Airman Records. People will email me and say, I can't log in. So I go, and the reason they can't log in is that they don't have an account on FAASTeam.gov. And at that point, I send an email back saying, are you trying to log into FAASTeam.gov or MedExpress, IACRA, what? Something else. Because people view the FAA as one organism, but we're not one organism. We're many, many departments with thousands of people. So the deal is my website doesn't communicate with FAA.gov and MedExpress and IACRA and stuff like that. So these other websites you have to contact individually. So people will find us, they really want to log into MedExpress, and I'm somebody who responds to emails. So they'll ask me to change their password. Well, I can't change your password for MedExpress. So, and it's also very frustrating to log into our website trying to do medical stuff because our website doesn't do that. It's like I can't find the link to, update my thing. Well, the reason for that is we don't do medical stuff. So what we do have for you is the top graphic has Airman certification, update your address. It's a hot topic. If you click on that, it will take you to Airman certification. The bottom graphic there at the bottom right is what we call quick links. At the bottom right of quick links, you'll see links to Airman Inquiry, Airman Online Services, and FAA Registry Aircraft Inquiries. So you really can get there from here. You just have to follow those links to link out to the other websites. One question people ask quite often is, why don't you record seminars? Well, the reason we don't record seminars is, we're recording and streaming this seminar, and there are 3 very expensive cameras with 3 trained people recording it. This room is basically a sound studio. So in order to have even the minimum understandability, people want to see and hear seminars, you have to have equipment like that, and you have to have trained people like that. And it's unusual. So we can't have every single one of our seminars, all 3,000 of them, spread out throughout the United States in a room like this. It's too expensive. Also, it takes quite a bit of bandwidth to show videos, and also quite a bit of memory to store them. So it's not a matter of technology. I mean, we have that technology. It's just that we don't have the infrastructure to make that sort of thing happen. And who knows, maybe someday we will have that, but just not now. Okay, so my old friend Don Green used to say, questions are like cockroaches. If you see one, there are 12 in the walls. And cockroaches gross me out, so I put a bug on the slide. So are there any questions or concern or feedback? Toss your cabbages.
Hold your hand up and wait for the microphone.
Yeah.
A question about the credits for the seminars. People ask me, I go to a seminar, I sign in, you give me credit, but yet when I go and look at the courses and the flight requirements to get a flight review, these seminars aren't counted. What happens to these that we get credit for going to a seminar if it's not counted towards anything?
Well, were you here when I talked about the 5 different places you can find credit?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the first answer, is that it may not be where you expect it to be. So if you have a seminar with credit that is maybe a knowledge 2 credit, and you already have one that's applied, then you won't see that seminar. It'll just go in the unapplied credit queue, waiting for the one that's applied to time out. It's kind of how that looks. Now, you look like you had another question.
Well, I know when you go in and it sets up what recommended courses and you can go in and change those. But if I go to an FAA seminar, a local seminar, and I sign in and the fast rep enters in and I get credit for that, but if I did 3 of those seminars, it doesn't count towards a flight review. It would have to be 3 courses or 2 courses that are recommended or that I substitute. So the credits that I get for going to the seminars, what happens to those and where are they counted?
Well, the reason that we have 3 knowledge credits is that there are 3 different things. So knowledge 1 is airman decision making. Knowledge 2 is loss of control and aircraft performance. And knowledge 3 is like electives. So what you'll find is that most of the seminars are knowledge threes because people just automatically think, well, it's elective. We're kind of lacking in knowledge twos and ones because there aren't a lot of people that go out and teach airman decision making. So those of you who are reps, when it comes time to assign credit, if you can possibly make it 2 or 1, go ahead and do that. Now, I think that the answer to your question is you go to like 10 seminars, well, they're all knowledge topic 3. Well, you only need 1 per year. So that 1 is listed, then the rest of them are in your unapplied credits queue, and they just sit and wait. If you do a whole lot of them, then they're just going to expire before they ever get to a place where they can be applied by the system. The system applies them automatically, and there's no way to select one and put it someplace. There's no tool for that.
On the same question as the selecting the different credits, when you're doing the spans and you get to, I want to assign credit, and you get to go to that pull down menu where you can go to a knowledge 1 or a knowledge 2. Some of those descriptions are kind of hard to interpret how we can, apply certain seminars in there. Is there any thought about maybe making that a little bit easier to interpret?
A couple things about that. One is that if you mouse over the resources tab and select library, you'll pull up a page that has a search box in it. Search the word general. The title of the document that you pull up is General Guidelines for Assigning Wings Credit. If you enter wings, you'll get like every document in the library. It's not good. So I don't mean it to be like a secret code or something, but you just have to search another one of the words in that title, and general pulls it right up. So there's a 1-sheet explanation of credit, and it'll answer a lot of your questions. So it'll make it easier to make that decision. So the other thing about the syllabi is that they're going to be rewritten really pretty soon because they're all based on practical test standards, and our practical test standard system is changing. All I really know about it today is the name of it has changed. I don't know what all is changing about it, but those things are going to be rewritten here pretty soon.
Sounds like they'll be more like Europeans. Lofts.
It sounds like we're finally catching up with the Europeans with practical-based training,
Okay.
line-orientated flight training. We actually
So I'm sure you know
run
more
a real
about
flight.
it than I do. Yeah.
Of course, as lead reps, we have to submit what our topic is going to be to our frontline program managers, and with their approval. So I guess a little bit of guideline would be too, that they would sort of direct us to what it would be under, like either runway incursions or whatever it may apply to the accreditation to go in the right slot.
Yeah, I think that for one thing, 2 heads are better than 1 always. And then the FPMs do this stuff full time. And so they might have some insight that you would need to make the decision. What I will say is that we've hired a lot of new guys. And so there's not been any training yet for them. And what I can say about that training is that we're waiting for the handbook chapter to be finished before we can write the training, because right now there's no handbook chapter either. And we just hired 2 new people, so we'll have 3 people working on that project to get our guys trained. Yes.
I guess I could make this comment then too, since you've been picking on Rockcastle over
Yeah.
there. I guess if you have some lead reps that have been around a long time, they can train the FAA new hirees.
I believe that Rock knows how it's done. Okay, so they're flashing the 1 minute at me. Are there any other questions? No? Well, thank you guys very much for spending time with us.
Thank you, guys. A very good presentation. Thank you all for coming out. I'd like to point out tomorrow morning at 8:30, our next speaker is going to be speaking on aviation weather for General Aviation. Don Ikes with the NTSB, based out of Washington, D.C., will be talking on meteorology. So please come on out. If you won't mind, exit out to the north door here, and I hope you all are enjoying sun and fun. Thank you.